We are storytellers, and we bring unique and diverse stories to life. When the pandemic struck in 2020, theaters around the world went dark. Zoomcatchers came into being with the idea of reimagining virtual, and that the show must go on with the strong commitment to keeping people connected. Greetings and welcome to Zoomcatchers ScienceQuest. I'm your host, Kimberly Gunn, Executive Director of Zoomcatchers and with the ScienceQuest team. Super excited to have you joining us today for our kick-off event where it's all about science all summer long and beyond. We know that science and science content is super important to so many people just like us, so we're so happy to be bringing you these fun topics, fun science topics to go with your summer of fun. What are we going to be talking about this summer? Well, we're going to be in the Bay Area, we're going to be in Barcelona, Spain, and the south of France. But for today, we're going to be focused on a topic that I know is extremely important to so many people, and that is climate change. We're going to break down climate change. Why does it happen? What is it? And we're going to have a special guest weigh in on the topic. She's got something that she has to say and get off her chest. We're going to hear from her. We're also going to be talking with some folks in Oakland, California, who believe that every day is Earth Day. And we're going to learn more about what that means and how you can make everyday Earth Day in your community as well. And we're going to be hearing from Jackson, who's going to talk more about how you can help save Mother Earth. To top it off, we have clips from a great interview with the savviest literary agent this side of the Milky Way. Leticia Gomez is going to be breaking down the science of storytelling and talk more about our NextGen science literary writing competition. Sci-fi writers, fantasy, dystopian, futuristic writers, we want you. We have a full plate of things to get to, but before we get to that, we have some breaking news.
Breaking news. The jury has reached a verdict, and it is damning. It's now or never if we want to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Without immediate and deep emissions reductions across all sectors, it will be impossible. Now, what questions are important to you? You can make a difference. You are the difference.
Hi, I'm Esme with Zoomcatchers, and I'm here to talk to you all about climate change. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the phrase before, but what exactly does it mean? Climate change describes how, right now, the temperature of our planet is heating up due to human activities on Earth. In order to produce electricity in buildings and industries, and energy to fuel non-electric forms of transportation, humans are burning fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are substances mined from the Earth that release greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane when they are burned. These gases, also referred to as greenhouse gases, then go into the atmosphere, or the layer of gas surrounding the Earth. In the atmosphere, what normally happens is that light from the sun enters the atmosphere, hits the Earth to heat it up, then the light is reflected back into space by the Earth. This reflection is why we can see the Earth from space. However, an increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere traps heat from the sun, keeping it from escaping into space. So when there are too many greenhouse gases, our planet heats up. Currently, Earth is 1.1 degrees Celsius warmer than pre-industrial levels. Climate scientists say that we must limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius in order to avoid irreversible consequences of climate change. There is too much greenhouse gas in the atmosphere for the Earth to manage. Plants on Earth take in carbon dioxide and release the oxygen that we breathe in, and humans and animals breathe in oxygen and release carbon dioxide. However, climate change is reducing the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the atmosphere. We are releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere much faster than it is being absorbed by plants. Additionally, plants are dying on Earth because of climate change and other impacts. Nonetheless, the life cycle of the Earth with plants and animals gives us an easy solution to climate change. We just need to reduce the amount of emissions, stop destroying ecosystems so more plants can grow, and give plants time to absorb carbon dioxide, and the planet will return to its normal temperature. Climate change is causing environmental harm in many ways and in many ecosystems. In the ocean, coral reefs that support marine ecosystems are dying because the ocean is getting too warm. Greenhouse gases are also entering the ocean and causing chemical changes in the water, called ocean acidification, that is eating away at the shells of many marine organisms. On land, an increase in global temperatures is causing glaciers in the North Pole and Antarctica to melt, causing sea levels to rise and flooding cities and terrestrial ecosystems. Additionally, many ecosystems on land aren't equipped to handle temperature changes, and species are dying. Widespread natural disasters like tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, and wildfires are increasing on land because of the change in global temperature. Changes to land ecosystems are also negatively impacting food chains and mating times for animals because flowers are blooming sooner in the spring due to warmer temperatures. In addition to climate change, marine and terrestrial ecosystems face other threats from humans that are adding cumulative stress on the species living there. These include overexploitation of resources, habitat loss, and pollution from factories, agriculture, and human waste. These hardships make it more challenging for ecosystems to adapt to temperature and chemical changes caused by global warming. Lastly, another important impact of climate change is its disproportionate effect on us. While most greenhouse gas emissions and pollution is coming from wealthier, first world countries, most of the effects of climate change are felt by third world countries who don't produce as many emissions and don't have the resources and infrastructure to recover from environmental damage as well. These disparities also exist within countries where minority and low-income communities are experiencing more of the negative impacts of climate change than the industries and governments in charge of the pollution.
This is Sassy Earth, and it's a hot mess. Okay, so y'all all just heard the breaking news. The jury is out and the verdict is in. Guilty! Hey, people, you are guilty of not taking better care of the earth, and that would be me. Attention, please. Climate change ahead. I know you've heard of climate change. Trust me, it's real. Climate change affects the economy and the lives of everyday people. That's you. Right now, I'm so confused. We got summer in the winter, winter in the summer. Plants don't know whether they should bloom or close up for good. The United Nations issued a report in the spring of 2022 that says we have icebergs melting and another chunk the size of Manhattan broke off from the Antarctic ice shelf earlier this year. Fires are raging and waters are surging. It's like the three faces of Eve fighting it out, and I'm worn out. Stop. We need to think, learn, and read. especially about global emissions. We need to reduce methane emissions by 1/3 to meet the greenhouse gas emissions goals and slashing global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels will require greenhouse gas emissions to peak before 2025. It's now or never territory, and that's a direct quote from the experts. And we're not even on track. What can you do? Fortunately, there are things you can do to mitigate these problems. According to the report, this is the first time in history we have the technology available to us that allows us to live comfortable lives without consuming ginormous amounts of energy. Y'all hear that? Ginormous. It's almost the first time that we can plausibly think about pathways to get beyond the age of combustion. Read the report, learn more, and get educated and help. No more empty promises. Get to work, everybody. Work with me, people. Work with me. I'm Sassy, and I'm asking you have to say the planet I alone can man it. So to learn more about what you can do to help save me, I'ma hand it off to Jackson. See you next time.
Hi, I'm here to tell you how we can all come together to save the environment and Mother Earth. Climate change is real, and it's not a hoax. But there are things that we can do to take care of Mother Earth. We can reduce, reuse, and recycle. We can also reduce the use of plastic. We can talk to our friends and families about the environment. Remember to pick up litter and recycle. And can we plant more trees? Please? Remember, it starts with you. Together, we can save Mother Earth.
We're here with Susan Bajana, and she is a one-person beautification team, and we're here to talk about Earth Day, her Earth Day activities, her passion about beautification, and what Earth Day means to you. So take it away, Susan. What does Earth Day mean to you?
Well, I think Earth Day for me means doing something for the Earth. We're having so many issues these days, and the Earth needs some help. So for me, doing any little thing that can make it better. In my case, it's keeping this garden up and beautiful. We had a wonderful project yesterday, an Earth Day event. About 35 people came out, and we had about 10 of those were kids, and they painted rocks and trying to get kids here so that they'll take care of the garden and know it's part of their community, and they won't want to be throwing trash and that kind of thing. So they painted rocks and put them around in places where they thought it was important. So getting out and seeing that there's little insects and stuff, I want to bring them up from the beginning to when they get older. And we also had a lot of adults who helped weed and cut and prune trees and stuff. And I worked in mental health. And one of the things they say about the earth and outdoors is that it helps if you're depressed, just getting outside into the trees and stuff. So I wanted a little area in our community here that people aren't feeling sad. They could come out and listen to the birds and look at the ladybugs and all the stuff around here. So that's what I think about Earth Day, I guess, is that having a place to come, a place to enjoy, give a little bit back to the earth and build community is real important in my opinion. So getting people together so we don't feel alone in this task of trying to make the earth better and stop destroying it. That's about it.
Great, great. And then finally, if people wanted to get involved in their community, how could they start? I know that you've been, doing this for several years, but what would be, one way that someone could start who wanted to maybe beautify their community or clean up their park?
Well, every day I get my stick and my friend and I take a walk with her dog, and I pick up garbage in my community, and she walks her dog, and we meet people on the street, and it starts to roll, and other people have gotten sticks and cleaned up around the area. So, it's a good way. Getting a dog helps because that gets you to know other people, and then the other people have ideas, and so you can get a little group together, and it might be a curb, where you just had weeds before, and you clean up those weeds and plant a couple plants. That's happening a lot here in Oakland. Just any little thing is helpful.
Great. Thank you so much. We're here with Susan, and she has a philosophy that says every day is Earth Day. Thank you so much, and the park looks great.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I have a hard time reading the news today, especially when it pertains to climate change. Because news gets published online today, news companies decide how to word articles and which stories to publish based on which stories will be clicked on. These are usually the ones with shocking headlines, photos, and stories, because this captures our attention. As a result, much of the news on climate change today is negative and overwhelming, focusing on climate disasters now and in the future and how powerless we are. Thus, to avoid these negative emotions, people tend to ignore climate change or live in denial. However, as shown by the most recent IPCC report on climate change featured in this kickoff event, we are in a critical moment. Now is the time to act. Right now is the moment we get to choose. Do we want to drastically change the way we are living or suffer extreme global environmental consequences? Ecological studies of marine and terrestrial ecosystems show that the health of these ecosystems depends on how much they are affected by the combined effect of global warming and other human impacts. Thus, human efforts to reduce stress on ecosystems drastically reduces extinction rates. So instead of talking about climate change, I'd like to talk about climate hope. I want everyone to know that we can change, but if we want to, we have to do it right now. Right now, we have the choice of billions of lifetimes, but we might not be able to make that decision tomorrow. Now is the time to embrace hope, courage, and a love of our planet, ourselves, and a shared future. All of us, including news companies, must embrace this hope in order to act on and promote solutions to climate change. We must reduce emissions now.
That is a perfect opportunity to keep talking about our NextGen ScienceQuest NextGen literary competition. You are going to be one of our judges. You're going to be getting those final cuts. We're so super excited to have you a part of that process. We have it broken down into categories: young adults, 13 to 20, and then we have an adult category. And in those subgenres that we talked about, fantasy, futuristic, dystopian, and paranormal. Up to 15 pages, essay style, short story, or novel. Take it away. Anything else you want to add about that?
No, I just really looking forward to the submissions, and I'm hoping to get submissions from both boys and girls, men and women, because one of the things that up until now, the genre of science fiction has been dominated by men. And I'm really, in the future, I'm really hoping that that's going to change. I'm really hoping that we will get more female aspiring science fiction writers. And I think that we're well on our road to doing that, but I think it's still going to, we're still haven't gotten there yet. But one of the reasons I say that, Kimberly, is because a lot of great science fiction writers are really good in the STEM subjects. Growing up, or I have a daughter who really excels in math and science, and so I think girls nowadays, they are excelling in these STEM subjects, and that makes them really great prospects to become sci-fi writers.
Great. You heard it right here, folks. NextGen Science Fiction Literary Writing Competition submissions are open. Look for the description link, or look for the link in our description right here on our YouTube channel. We want you. We're looking for those gems, and you have a literary agent, the savviest one this side of the Milky Way, who will be able to say, that's it. So we strongly encourage all you sci-fi buffs, pick up your.
And the winner's going to get a consultation session with me.
That's right.
Some mentoring, and it's. I hope to find the next great sci-fi writer that I can represent.
You heard that right here. We're looking for you. Cash prizes, consultation with Savvy Literary. Super, super excited to see your submissions. I can't wait to see what worlds that you want to take us to. So we're going to get to the end of this conversation, start to wrap things up. Any final thoughts, any words of wisdom for these sci-fi writers out there?
Yeah, just have, like you said, just have fun with it. No idea is too dumb. No idea. I mean, just if it comes from your imagination and from your heart, it's a great idea. You just, the execution at first may not be perfect, but, everything takes time. I mean, even a diamond, when it's pulled out of the earth, it still has to be taken care of. It still has to be, polished off. It still has to be refined. So, like I said, don't strive for perfection. Just strive for words on the page. And it's like I said, it's the more you write, the better you'll become at it. So, yeah, that's my advice.
Great. And then my final thought is, as you once said to me, it takes a village to raise a science fiction writer. So parents, family, friends, if you notice you have some young people in your life that love to write, encourage them. Buy them more notebooks, get them some good books, help them along, look at what they're reading, give them, positive feedback, and that'll go a long, long way. Thank you so much, Savvy Literary Agent Letty Gomez, for being here. Looking forward to seeing you, because we know you'll be back to announce the winner of the competition. Is that right?
I look forward to that. I really do.
Great. Well, we hope you have a great rest of your week. And that is a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for joining our conversation with Leticia Gomez, talking about the science of storytelling. And to learn more about our NextGen science writing competition, watch this video. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Sci-fi writers, we want you. ScienceQuest is now accepting submissions for our NextGen science literary writing competition. We have 2 categories: young adult, ages 13 to 20, and adult 21 and over. We are accepting science fiction, fantasy, futuristic, dystopian, and paranormal essays, novels, and short stories. We have cash prizes, a chance to appear in our ScienceQuest podcast, and a consultation with a literary agent. For more information, go to www.zoomcatchers.us or check us out on our Zoomcatchers and ScienceQuest YouTube channels. Thanks so much for joining us for our kickoff event. Stay tuned for upcoming events all summer long. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. What are we going to be doing? Well, Sassy Earth, she's hitting the road. She's going to be in Barcelona, Spain, the south of France, and right here in beautiful, sunny California. We're also going to be going in the lab and having some cool conversations with some cool scientists and entrepreneurs. And now I am so pleased to thank and introduce the entire ScienceQuest team. Steve Arsberger, Billy Forrester, Leticia Gomez, Natalie Jamovan, Jackson King, Esme Crummell, Elizabeth Martinez, Anna Joe, and special thanks to Jenny Arsberger as well. Stay tuned. Keep watching to learn more about Zoomcatchers and ScienceQuest and our literary writing competition. Check the YouTube description for all the links. Thanks. We'll see you next time.